144, chosen of the chosen few. You know who you all are. I greet you in the love, love, love that lights the truth from my heart to yours. I am Celestial Earth in this divine energy essence of it all, reporting to you live from nowhere other than dimension number 5, the fifth dimension and the place to be. So, for those of you who are coming in, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I mean, not just coming in right now, coming into the fifth dimension. Those of you who are feeling the timeline splits, welcome, welcome in. As usual, I bring you the news to infuse. If you so and choose to fuse with that light, as we're lighting up on the light grid, a lot of us are coming into those crystalline bodies. We're lighting up. So if you choose to infuse, that's the way that we're stepping into this light work. And if not, you always have a choice to refuse. But remember, be prepared to be fried and on the grid. And it's a lot of frying going on. So with that said, happy new moon in Cancer. Happy 2525 portal. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk a little bit about a lot of it. Because I put a video out yesterday and apparently it's just not really in rotation. It's not setting. So I just decided to go live because I was going to just do the video and set it. But I realized that it's not uploading. And rather than fight with the throes of technology, we just going to go live. Right? And I may recap some of what I did yesterday. But this is mainly to be focusing on the new moon energies and what's happening with a lot of the frequencies, the ascension symptoms. I really want to speak to the 144 as usual, the 144 ascendant frequencies, because they're in this time shift, in this timeline shift. There is a lot of frequencies being kicked up, right? There's a lot of, let me say, ascension symptoms. And I want to speak to us about that. Although I did a mini video about that as well, again, not uploaded. So we're going to talk about it in this live. Some of you may have been feeling some achiness, some irritability, some headaches, maybe some intense headaches, and especially, you know, in the eye area, the third eye. Your eyeballs may have been irritated. You may have been sensitive to touch. You may have been feeling it in your skin. Just aches and pains all over the body, inside, out. Right? We're having ascension symptoms, some of us. And what I like to be clear on is there's two ways that these ascension symptoms may be showing up. And one is as you are ascending through your soul and you're clearing things up in your own soul unfoldment, the body, the mind-body complex needs to calibrate these frequencies as these light frequencies are streaming through. So there's a calibration happening along with your ascension, right? And this doesn't mean that if you're not feeling it, you're not ascending. Like this is we're all experiencing it differently, right? Everyone is experiencing these frequencies differently, but I want to speak to those who may be feeling these aches and pains because you may not know, and then you think, oh, I got to go to the doctor. You really don't have to go to the doctor, and you'll see if you just let a couple days pass, because it's passing through this week. A lot of us may have been feeling it over the weekend, over the summer solstice, intensities of the solstice of the sun, which is being still, you know. So there's this, think about it being still, and think about this concentrated light that's just intensifying, because we're already getting solar flares, intense solar flares. And now at the highest peak of where the sun is to us in the galaxy, there's this concentrated light at its stillness on us. So you have to imagine all these streams of light, energy, and information that is coming in and chopping up that dark matter, right? So as I said, one way may be what you've already been working through. Another reason for ascension symptoms may be resistance, because there is the light that is streaming through, and if you are still having some type of resistance, whether it be big or small, any type of resistance, meaning just being in denial or being in avoidance or aloof a little bit, maybe a little gullible, maybe a little naive, because we still want to believe in certain people, places, and things. But the old timelines, as I've been saying, the timelines are collapsing. So what's happening right now is, as the timelines are collapsing and we're entering into this new timeline that is opening up for a lot of us, there's this clash of frequencies. And so you may feel some of these ascension symptoms. And what you can do to stabilize these frequencies is drink a lot of water for one, meditate, go within, and rest. Get a lot of rest. The mind body needs to calibrate, so you need to rest. So to get up and just go go go, I mean, I understand some people are still aligned, in the 9 to 5 and have to get up and work, but I would say do your best to honor your body. Just like when it was COVID and everybody was saying I got the cough, if you had the slightest cough, they would tell you do not come into work, right? So whatever slightest thing you have, don't try to tough it out and go to work. Call in and say, you know what, I'm not going to be able to do it today. Take a good 2-3 days off. As I saw when it hit around the weekend, I knew, I was like, the solstice, it's going to be there for 3 days. The sun is usually still in a solstice, whether it's winter or summer. For 3 days it's at a stillness before it moves. Yesterday, which is what I call the miracle day, that was the video I put out, miracle day. It is when the sun begins moving forward. So I knew that it would start to clear up, which it started to clear up a little bit more for me. But as you can see, you might still see it in my eyes. Those of you who are intuitive, you can probably sense it still. Yes, I'm still feeling some of those aches, right? A lot of the seriousness, the severe achiness is kind of left, but I can still feel a little bit more of it. I still feel like congested a little bit. So some of you may have some type of congestion, and you're wondering, where did I get this cold? Nobody made you sick. You didn't get food poisoning. You didn't eat nothing bad. It is the ascension symptoms, and your body is needing to calibrate. And what you can do is you can eat light foods, though. You can watch what you eat to help you stabilize those frequencies, because remember, food is information. So you want to give your body, as you're taking on these light codes, you want to eat light foods, light code foods, which would be more like fruits and vegetables, maybe juices. You may want to be like on a little bit of a fast or detox while you're resting. I would say stay away from the meats, the sweets, the carbs, those things that the body got to work to break down, because you want the body to take as much rest as possible, right? So that's what I could say about that. Moving on to, I want to really get into the new moon energy, and just to give a little bit about what yesterday's video was, because it didn't get to upload, and it was about what they call the Jupiter Cazimi, but that's not usually my language, so I just call it a conjunction. And it was a major conjunction with the Sun and Jupiter at 3 degrees. At 3 degrees yesterday. Is it there? No. Now, because of the sun and the moon being at 4 degrees today, so clearly the sun has just moved just a little bit. But yesterday, it was the sun and Jupiter at 3 degrees on a day that, if you add up all the numbers yesterday, it also equaled to 3. If you add up all the universal date of yesterday would equal to 3. So there is a 3 combination. You might have seen a lot of 3s. You might have woke up out of your sleep and saw 3s. You might have saw 12 and 21, which is still a 3. So there is the creative completion of what is happening with this conjunction, and it's bringing, just to explain a little bit, because I'm still going to upload that video, so I don't want to go too much into that explanation, but to give a little bit of what that was yesterday. It was the expansion of Jupiter and what we had been talking about, Jupiter's expansion into communication, expression, just the expansion into Cancer, which is in the home life. Not necessarily just your immediate home, but as I've been explaining, the lineage, the maternal lineage, because Cancer represents the mother. So there's a lot of this divine feminine energy that is being reflected back to us to work on, and it's going to be all year round while Jupiter is in Cancer for the entire year. However, it's being brought to our attention once the sun and the sun is going to be in Cancer all for the next 30 days or however many more days left. So we're in that Cancer season, and while we're in that Cancer season, the sun is highlighting the bringing everything about Cancer into the outer world, right? So Jupiter's expansion on that, and then now with it aligning with the sun, it's bringing it into the outer world, and it's highlighting what we need to do. The three representing that creative completion, what actions need to be taken, but with harmony of the divine feminine energy, because we can't take action without instructions. We need the healed nurturer, and this is what Jupiter is attempting to do for us, right? What it is helping us with is expanding our wisdom and our knowledge in our home life, not just right now, but down the bloodline and as well as in our past lives, right? What we are here to rectify, because as I've explained in another video, we're at a pivotal point right now as those timelines are splitting, where a lot of us have been doing so much of the work that we've cut off a lot of outside things, right? We've cut off, maybe left a job, we left some friends, we left some family behind. We've cut off so many things already, and we've really been doing the work. And now it's taken us into our home life, because when you do the work out there, then where else can energies get to you and work with you? And that's in your home, where we're supposed to feel safe. And yes, we feel like this is the safest place. And just to bring a realistic spin to it, no doom and gloom, but there's a lot of things that need to be fixed in the home. And where we think that it's safe, and a lot of us are nurturing, and we think because we're mothers, we're automatically nurturing, but there are a lot of us that are nurturing through our unhealed wounds. So we're not healed nurturers. And this is what Jupiter's expansion in Cancer is calling us into. Whether you are male or female, this is about the divine feminine energy. And so it's calling for us to be healed nurturers, to further help clear the bloodline, and to further help clear the way, even in your home life, of what it is that is expanding within the home. The dynamics may be changing in your home, where you're now able to see that, okay, this is not healed. We're not going to stay here just because society says so, or my family says so, or this is what I'm used to. The energies are no longer allowing us to sit in something just because this is what we're used to. This is a pivotal point. This is a turning point. So we're being asked to engage in our home life. We're being asked to take a deeper look, to inspect our home life in what is, happening. Ashe. And feel free to drop any comments, whoever is here. You all know when I do the live, I love when we could commune and converse. So if you feel anything like that coming up for you, if you feel the dynamics have shifted in your home life, especially around the full moon, because that's really when Jupiter, I believe it was Jupiter and Mercury that shifted into Cancer together. Like they were conjunct in Gemini, and then they shifted into Cancer. So there was this expansion, as I spoke of. There was an expansion on expression, or the lack thereof. There was an expansion on how we're communicating, how we are listening, how we are being in our doings, right? So this was already happening from the full moon. And now as we get to the new moon, we're seeing it come to the full front. We're seeing it once it comes conjunct with the sun. The sun being the outer world means it's in our face now, right? Before it might have just been within the inner world. Maybe some who are allowing themselves to be intuitive would see it, but now it's being brought into the outer world in such a way that you can't deny it. You can't turn your head from it. You can't turn a blind eye. The energies are no longer letting us turn a blind eye. And this is why a lot of us are feeling like, I've had enough, right? The body is saying, I've had enough. The mind, which is the entire soul, right? The entire mind is the soul's consciousness, is saying enough. It is time to step into that higher timeline. So this new moon, brings me to the new moon. So what I wanted to say about this new moon is it's a new moon into our new timeline, a new moon that is splitting. It's really helping us to see the split and split that timeline and see what timeline we are ascending to, and be able to look at the timeline that is collapsing, because it is. and being willing to release it and let go and detach. um, Not beating on yourself, not holding anybody in contempt because they're not going this way or that way, because everybody's on their own journey, and we get that. But we are really seeing the timeline split, and this Jupiter new moon, as we are, let's say for 3D, we're halfway through the year, right? For 5D, for those who are, you know, on the 5D perspective and have 5D calendars, and you understand we begin in spring, this is the second quadrant of the year, because Cancer is a cardinal sign. All cardinal signs begin another quadrant. So we are now in another quadrant of our year. And so this cardinal sign, there is something that we are taking the lead in, and it is definitely with the feminine, the divine feminine energies, with Cancer, right? And let's not forget the square with Neptune and Saturn in Aries, and Aries being that cardinal sign. So we have a square with the cardinal signs. One is a masculine, one is a feminine, right? And we're being asked to look at what the feminine is bringing in. There's something that the masculine, because the masculine being where Aries is, and this is the fire that wants to take initiative, the aspirations and dreams of Neptune, that it wants to bring into this new cycle, because it closed out its 12 house cycle, and Saturn as well wants to have a new direction in authority. It wants us, it's helping us in Aries to step into our authentic authority, right? And so this is a square up that it's having with the feminine energy. With the feminine, it's actually waiting. The feminine energy has to release its information, but we have to be healed. We have to be healed so that we're giving the right information, so that we're unlocking the memory codes that can be released into the divine masculine. There is a release, there is a release definitely that needs to happen for this creative completion, and it's waiting. It's patiently waiting. I mean, for that part of it. I want to say for the misappropriated egoic system that doesn't want to let go, oh, it's not waiting on anything. It wants to manipulate. And these are the energies that we have to be mindful of, because as we're shifting timelines, we have infiltrators. We have desperate energies doing desperate things. We have another, let's say, timeline gone rogue. Like there's this other timeline that wants to step in and snatch, right? And snatch us from what we are ascending to, and kind of pivot us back on the old timeline. And this is why we can't pay attention to what's happening in the news, or in the bigger scope of things in our families. Like, we really have to be in an observing position. Observe what is happening. Don't absorb it. Observe. I'm mixing up the word, but you know what I mean. Don't absorb it, but observe it, as in observation, right? We don't want to absorb these frequencies, because they're being very desperate right now, and they are attaching themselves to those chosen ones who are ascending in their timelines. And so there are things you may be finding, that there are things being thrown at you that kind of want to, put you on a hook and reel you back in and bring you back to that timeline, because that's how they survive. And this is an important part that I really want us to understand. I know I need to talk about it more. I've mentioned those whose souls are snatched, and I've been wanting to do a video on it for a minute. I really want to get into that, because we got to understand this is how these energies, I mean, you don't gotta, but these are these energies behind the scenes, in the background of everything. And these egoic, these, when you even hear others talking about the egoic energies, it's not all ego. Remember, we have the wise ego, and we have the misappropriated ego. It is the misappropriated ego that fears annihilation, and is holding on with a death grip, and does not want to release, and does not want to let go. And it is the one that is finding a way to maneuver and pull those back into a situation. So we have to just observe what's happening and rest and be at peace, filter it through, and then know where to place it. In this timeline, you don't need that, right? Whatever they're saying, even about the war, whatever it is that they want to bring up, black and brown, all of these conversations are irrelevant. And it's not to say that they don't matter, as in it's not happening, right? But how much we pay attention to what is happening, remember, where attention goes, energy flows, and the result shows. You give it attention when you give it energy when you keep giving it attention. It has no true reality, least you give it. So these conversations, I'm inviting a lot of us to be mindful of the conversations that we're listening to and that we're partaking in. What Trump does is none of our business. I said this a long time ago when I was saying, if you're really in 5D, this is the difference. When you're in 5D, 5D is a love frequency. It has nothing to do with war. That is not our war. That is something that they're choosing to create as their narrative and keep as their narrative. And they want to infiltrate you with that narrative. So we have to make up our conscious mind to not give into those conversations, not even to have them with casually with people that are passing by and people that want to, because let me tell you, these are agents. They don't know it, but they're agents. And we're seeing agents everywhere. I'm speaking to the 144. We're seeing it in our dreams. We're seeing it everywhere we go where it's that sensitive. There are these parasitic energies and these double agent beings, hosts. I want to call them hosts because they don't know. But that's because they're not doing their work. When you don't do your soul work, you allow yourself to be an available vessel. So these are available vessels for those to be agents within your very family. This could be your lover. Like, don't think twice. Don't think that because you go to bed together at night that you're on the same team. And again, not instilling fear, but it's to know the difference. It's for us to be able to recognize it and know you may very well be sleeping with the enemy, right? And it's not, I'm not wanting to call them the enemy. And I should say it like this, sleeping with the enemy, right? Because it is that parasitic energy that is allowed to use them that is actually the enemy or the double agent, but they don't know it. But we have to be careful of how we're engaging with them in this manner. It's not everything that you could share, because some of your light is being siphoned out by these very people in your homes. And this is why we have to clear the homes. This is why Jupiter is going to be working very intensely throughout this year in Cancer, in the homes. And a lot of us are going to be seeing what is really happening in the homes with our loved ones, with our children, right? And a lot of people find it hard to look at their children and be like, yeah, your child can be a double agent, right? And so I know that's hard to hear, but this is why we have to train them. We have to guide them. I don't even like to say train like they're an animal, but we have to guide them. We have to continuously pour light into them. We have to continuously be able to catch when they're being an agent, call it out, show it to them, because they won't know it if we don't show it to them, if we don't highlight it to them. Highlight anything that you can when you see a glitch in the matrix, because it's all kind of glitching going on, right? So believe me, as this timeline is splitting, every new moon is an opportunity to sow the seeds of the new timeline in the new earth. That's what every new, and I've been saying this since 2022. Those who have been in the light grid work with me, or who have been doing the work, we all have been saying this. Every new moon, even if you haven't been back in the group, a lot of them will still know that when there's a new moon, that is an opportunity to help to restructure the new earth. That is an opportunity to bring in, to manifest the new timeline over and over again. Remember what I said about repetition. When you repeat something, you create a new practice, you create a new pattern. This is the new infinite stamp. That is what infinity is about. It is repetition. So when we manifest something, we have to repeat that manifestation, right? And as I speak on manifestation, this 2525 portal represents the theme of manifestation, besides the fact, besides the truth that the new moon is a new moon manifestation. The 2525 portal has a theme of manifestation because the 2 and the 5 is a 7. And that's every 25th of this whole year. Every 25th of the month is a 2525 portal. And remember, these portals are just energetic hotspots, right? So that we can portal through, we can practice whatever it is that we have been working on. Our pre-portaling work helps us to align when we get to these energetic hotspots, and we become intentional about what we are hotspotting into. What are we connecting to? What is the manifestation, right? What is it that you see that you're manifesting right now in this timeline? And what is it that is falling away? Because there's a lot falling away. And we have a responsibility with this timeline, this major shift. And it's going to be, we're going to see this for the next couple of months. And there's the important thing that I'd like to point out too, with the Neptune and Saturn square with Jupiter right now, is while they're doing their little do-si-do square up, keep in mind that once it goes into retrograde, it's going to kind of dip back in Pisces. And it's going to remind us that there is a karmic closing. There is something that we needed to close out. So if some of you are realizing that right now, it's like, oh snap, you know, there's this opportunity when it goes back into Pisces, giving us another opportunity to face these karmic closures. And I mean from past lives, as well as in our early childhood life, like down the lineage, things like that. And this is probably going to happen. We'll probably feel this around November, and I'll speak more about that when I'm getting closer to that, because November is going to be that month. Like I'm already calling it like the month of the retrograde month, because a lot of planets will be in retrograde around that time, and the two of the major ones to be looking at will be Neptune and Saturn, because a lot of us miss that cue. Even though some of us had been talking about it, and I had been saying from last year that we need to close out all illusions that we've been carrying for lifetimes, that we have come in this lifetime, in this timeline and lifetime, to utilize this opportunity as Neptune shifts and closes out in the house of Pisces, right? With Saturn there, Lord of Karma, in the house of Karma, giving us so much opportunity to close out old accounts, having accountability, right? Closing out old debts, giving us this once in a lifetime opportunity in this lifetime, because it's going to be 100 and something years before it comes back to this point. So we're not going to experience this in our body in this lifetime. So a lot of us chose to be here at this particular time to take advantage of letting go of illusions. And I mean deep-seated illusions, things that you thought to be true, things that you carried with you in past lives, that you brought over with you in this life, and still did not erase it, still did not find it and uproot it, let me say it that way, right? We're being given this opportunity now. So looking at this square, look at how Jupiter expands it. Allow the feminine energy of Cancer to really guide you and highlight. Allow the healing nature of the mother. Look in your lineage. Look in the maternal lineage. Do the necessary work to remove, to admit to ourselves, where are the wounds? Where's the wound of you? Where's your inner childhood wound? Where's the wound of your mother? Where are the wounds of your grandmother? Because it's being passed down the line. And you want to find it so that you can uncover it and then so that you can in turn come from a healed place. Ashe. So this is what I have on the new moon. Man, I was really quiet today. Let me see who came in. And I didn't bring my glasses again. And the eyes is definitely, but I see that, I think, oh, Carrie. Hey, Carrie. Ashe, Ashe. All right, I'm passing through the day as much as I could be up in my energy. So it's a lot that is happening, and I want to share so much more. And I definitely am going to have to break it up. Break it up, break it up. I do want to remind us, though, that if you have, please look into your chart. If you have Chiron, if your Chiron is in Cancer, this is working tightly with you. As Chiron is that a square? Yes. Your natal Chiron is in a square with the current Chiron, because the current Chiron is in Aries. And as I've mentioned before, and I keep mentioning while we have this opportunity, Aries, Chiron being in Aries is helping us to clear up those misappropriated egos from the age of the ram. We are cleaning that up. And a lot is being restored onto the maternal, the matriarchal lineage in its rightful way, so that there can be a divine union between the two. It's not to do without the patriarch, but it is to get rid of the misappropriated patriarch that has been plaguing us, to get us out of the grip and out of the jaws in our collective imprint that has been plaguing us for over 4,000 years. Because that's how long it's been since we've been in the age of the ram. And we've just entered into the Aquarian age, but to do so successfully, we have to remove the shadows of the age of the ram as well as the shadows of the Piscean age, because believe me, it trickled down into the Piscean age. But the more that we clean up from the age of the ram, because that's where the damage was done, that is where the egoic misappropriations took place in so many ways. If you look between those times, that's when they did away with the feminine. That is when they canceled a lot of the feminine, when they got rid of the Ankh and wanted to put forth the cross. Anything to get rid of feminine energy. And this is the return of the divine feminine energy. And we need to allow the flow of that return. But we need the feminine energy to be in a healed place. Therefore, we need the feminine energy to admit that not because you're a feminine energy means you're a healed nurturer. We need the feminine energy to admit that they have been operating from an unhealed place. And when they clear that up, and when they find the healing, when they find the revelation that brings the healing, and they evolve and elevate to a healed nurturer, this is what we're going for. This is what we're stepping into in this new timeline. This is what is breaking through a lot of our families. If you are in a family and you feel called to do something with the women in your family, please do so, because they are going to help the blocks in the masculine. We can't no longer keep looking at the masculine and blaming the masculine. It needs instructions, right? And now there's ample space and opportunity with all this divine energy pouring in. And I'm feeling it right here in my third eye right now, tingling. There is ample opportunity. So it's now picking itself up and it's saying, okay, feminine energy, divine feminine, you're no longer barred. You're no longer held down. But now it's time to come up out of that unhealed place. Do not kid yourself. It's time for us to get away from the spiritual bypassing, the love and light, ooh, everything is good and great. No, we need to look at the shadows. We can't heal the trauma if we don't look at the shadows. And allow the shadows to highlight to you where needs revelation. That's all it needs for you to see it. You really don't have to fight too heavy. You just need to reveal it to yourself. Be able to face it, to see it, to witness it, and then have accountability for how it showed up even through you. Don't just look on the outside and say, yeah, they need to do that and they need to do better over there. No, what is it? How did it affect me? And how can I show up? because it's how we show up that we break the cords, we break the chains, we exemplify, which is the Christ consciousness. That is what Christ exemplified. It wasn't about that person in that time being here just to do. It was to exemplify the Christ consciousness. It was to open the doorways to the Christ consciousness, your super consciousness. So we're being asked to go into that, but we have to allow ourselves to go into our subconscious, the feminine energy, the memories, the intuition, unlock the codes, and come into a healed nurturer. New timelines is going to require that. True timeline is going to require that. So you're going to see a lot of different timelines shifting right now. You're going to see those coming from the ideal timeline into the real. Those may be coming from the real timeline into the true timeline. And there's levels and layers in each one. So we're all seeing that, and we're seeing the collapse of the old. Allow that to collapse. Do not pick up back that ego. Right? We in the building. Yes, is that wise to God? Peace, love, and light. Thank you for coming through. Happy new moon to you in Cancer. Happy divine feminine energy. Allow that energy to heal you. And happy 2525 portal, which is, I dub also the 77 portal, that is allowing us to manifest. So this new moon is bringing in a timeline. This new moon is, you're seeing the split. You're seeing it, you're feeling it. Allow your body to calibrate. Right? Is there anything else? I believe that's all. There's more. There's always more. But that's what I have right now. If there's anything else, you all, if there's a topic you want me to talk about, let me know. The calendars are out. So get them at a 5D corner near you. Those who are in the fifth dimension, whoop, whoop, we are stepping into 5D. That's another part of this this split is helping us step deeper into the fifth dimension. It is no longer that old timeline. It's packed, gone away, and you will see those energies can't stay, but they will try to stray you. So be on your P's and Q's of all things. And we'll talk more about that, because I have to go into these energy cults where we can see where they're showing up everywhere in simple ways. And everyone's not going to get it, but for those who get it, you'll at least be on your P's and Q's and know what to shift around, what to stand 10 toes down in, and not be an enabler for this 3D shadow world anymore. Right? So with that said, anything else? So you can reach me at akilatextry@gmail.com if you're looking for the calendars. If you're looking for one-on-ones, for those of you who may want a one-on-one session, email me as well, akilatextry@gmail.com, akilatextri@gmail.com. Wise to God said, it's over. It's over now. It's over. It's over. That's what I'm hearing. Move over. It's our time now. Okay, you singing the song to it. As soon as I saw it, that's what I'm hearing. It's over. Move over. Right? It just shut down. Sorry. Right? Sorry, not sorry. We are unapologetically true and stepping into our true timeline. There is nothing else here to be playing around with in these spiritual streets. So get at me, however you want to say, or don't come for me. Stay over there, because we not playing with those energies, those dusty, parasitic energies that want to hold a footnote, right? They want to hold a footnote at somebody's throat. Now, Shay, clear your throat. Make sure that your communication is clear. Do not let anybody block your expression. Do not stand in any inauthenticity, because that is what they want you to do. They want to bind you in inauthenticity. So as simple as it may seem, do not acquiesce. Speak on it. I don't care if it's a phone call. I don't care how light it may seem. You at your children's school, or school is out. Whatever it is, stand on the truth. Do not let people say things to you that you know are not true, and they playing with your third eye. Cut that out. Cut that out. Clear your third eye. Right down the middle and let them know we not having it. We're not doing that. I'm in a true timeline. It's either we gonna be authentic or we're not gonna be at all. And there's some places that we just can't go to. Ashe. So I'm gonna leave that there on the happy new moon. Thank you for coming through, Wise D God, Carrie, and anybody else who came through. Love, 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 and light to you and you and you in the 5D lineup of it all. Be true to you. Stand in your trueness and allow this Jupiter expansion to expand what you need to do in your home life, in your lineage, in your past life, brought into the now moment. There is work to do. Find it, get it done. Ashe. With that said, each one reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start, start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out. Be the candle that lights the next one and the next one and the next one. Peace, love, and light.